Here are some suggestions for a legal update of the mental care system in Norway. And this is that, number one, if there is no, concrete, like no tangible proof that you are insane, then I propose that it be impossible to force you to be in a mental hospital. I mean, sure, they can suggest it, they can suggest medicine, they can do whatever they want, as long as it's just a suggestion. But they cannot force you unless there is tangible proof that you are, in fact, insane, which there isn't in my case, right? People can think this and that, people can suspect, people can have a feeling, people can think it's weird what I'm, proposing or claiming, but as long as there's no proof of me actually being insane, then I would like the laws to reflect the notion that you cannot be forced into a mental hospital without any shred of evidence that you're actually insane. That's the first point. The second point is that so the law, the general Norwegian law about recordings is that you can record as long as you are taking part in the conversation you are recording, right? You cannot record others, and you can especially not record if you are not even there. I'm not sure exactly where what the details are on that, but if it's okay to record if you're there, but it's definitely okay to record if you're taking part in the conversation. That is clear. Someone said something about it being only okay if there's only one other person partaking in the conversation. I'm not exactly sure about that, but at least it's okay if it's one person and you're taking part in it. I find it hard to believe that it's restricted to only one other person. That seems like an unreasonable restriction to me, but if that's what it says, then fine. However, in the mental hospital, there is an absolute rule, enforced, absolute 100% enforced, that you cannot record. Period. Well, I mean, I'm recording now. This is fine because I'm just recording myself, but that you cannot record anything that includes other people whatsoever. Right? And I want to change that. I feel like what reason do you have to be scared of a recording? If you have good intentions, you're not doing anything wrong, and especially if the patient doesn't have any bad intentions either. Like, what could possibly go wrong then? What are you so afraid of? Like, if that person is intending to make a mockery of you or mock you by posting it somewhere and putting you in a bad light, there is other laws against that. It is not free to do that, so you will be protected by that other law. And also, even if you're afraid of the small consequences that might come from the recording being up and published for a short amount of time before it's taken down, even then, usually other people will not care, or they will even, you know, think the person posting it is being stupid and unfair, because almost nobody likes to be recorded without their consent, and then especially not just published and tried to be made fun of. You know, that is really something that people do not appreciate, you know. And so when you do that, then, you know, you're more likely to take the fire rather than give it, you know. So really, the risk of being, you know, getting negative consequences from being recorded is pretty low, you know, unless you're doing something wrong, of course. I mean, if you're doing something wrong, then you should rethink that, definitely. But if you're just doing your job and you're being polite and you put care and effort into your work, I will propose that there is very little a recording can do to damage you. Um, Now, the most dangerous thing I can see about being recorded is if there is some patient who is, you know, a patient who has like a low uh, a short fuse, you know, before he gets really angry and even violent, and he's probably gonna hang around with other people that is like that as well. And then he publishes a recording, and they get amped up, and you know, maybe that can get a little dangerous sometimes. I mean, probably not, but maybe I can see that happening. I can see that being an actual issue, you know. However, if the patient is acting calm and rationally, uh, then I then I propose that they be allowed to record according to what the general law says about recording. You know? So these are my suggestions for legal updates to the mental care system in Norway.